Welcome to Salute to the Years, where my family and I discuss everything Disney, from parks, food, and rides to travel tips, movies, and more. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Salute to the Years. I am your host, Jeremy Simon, and with me, as I guess usual now,
I'm Erica.
we got some more news that happened this week. I'm going to start with some little tidbits of news that kind of came out today. We finally got an opening day for Space 220. Yep.
Later this month.
September 20th. September 20th. Kind of an important day in this household.
Yeah, it's a little bit. No date for ADR though, for advanced dining reservations. I didn't see one.
I didn't see one.
So I think that's one we're just gonna have to watch daily. I don't know that they're gonna put it out publicly of like, oh hey, ADRs are available.
Yeah.
And so if you're looking for a dining reservation for Space 220, you're just probably gonna have to check every single day right now.
Right. Yeah. I would just kind of keep looking. Look in the morning. Probably your best bet, because that's usually when new stuff opens up.
Yeah, if we see it load on social media, I'll try to post it in stories.
Right, because I got a feeling that one will go pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that one's going to go, you're looking September 20th, then you go 60 days out, you're into almost Thanksgiving.
Right.
And in the 60th, I mean, or the 50th, that's going to be...
Right. I don't know, maybe it'll be one of those places like that was going on today where cast members from restaurants were walking around trying to get people to come into the restaurants because there's nobody there right now. Yeah. It's been record low wait times on rides for the last 2 weeks or so.
Almost 3 weeks.
Yeah, pretty much
definitely record lows the last 2 weeks, but for sure, most of August was pretty slow.
Yeah, and it's probably due to COVID, kids back in school, and hurricanes. And at this point, people are like, well, if I'm going to wait and go in September, I might as well wait and go in October when all the 50th stuff comes out.
Right. I think they anticipated that there was going to be a lull in attendance in just before the 50th. I don't know that they anticipated it happening this early.
Yeah. The rumor is they're kind of scrambling around trying to figure out what to do, that they're afraid once we get past the initial rush of the anniversary stuff that it's going to drop back down.
I think it'll drop after that initial rush, into the first of the year, but I don't think it will drop to where we are right now. But the hope is that, the biggest factor in all of this too is, numbers as far as, COVID and COVID rates and it's been a hot spot. And so that's really hard for a lot of people to be one, if I'm going to travel, I don't necessarily want to travel to someplace that has a high case rate. And, so hopefully by January, we're going to be seeing, much lower numbers, and people are going to be more willing to travel and wanting to again. And I think we'll see a difference there. But one of the other things that came out was more information about Disneyland's.
Yep, Disneyland's Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to be having parades, shows, a lot of the same things that you're paying for at Disney World.
Yeah.
Is just going to be happening during the day at Disneyland.
Yeah, that'll be kind of an interesting mix of how that really plays out.
And I've seen on Diz Twitter, which is kind of just an odd, cranky world right now. Bunch of people complaining. They can't really do that at Disney World right now with Halloween and Christmas with all the 50th stuff.
Yeah, that would be extremely difficult.
But one of the things they are doing at Disneyland is putting lights back on the castle. So it'll be interesting to see once we get past the 50th, a year and a half from when it starts, if that following Christmas lights come back on.
What
I don't know if they will.
Would that be 24?
Yeah, I think.
Because it
starts in
21 and it goes to spring of 23.
Yeah, so.
No, so it'd be Christmas of 23.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if we ever see that come back. A lot of the rumors were we're never going to see him again because it's kind of hard to do projections on there.
Yeah, but they do a nice job of the projections, though. Yeah. They have projections that make it look like there are Christmas lights on there. Yeah. So it's not like it just you never see it again with like holiday lights on it. But it's, it does look, it's really pretty. I do love the projections. So I'm not really complaining.
I liked them a lot better than I thought I was going to. Mm-hmm. And I liked the lights as well. But no, I liked it much better than I thought I was going to. And then the big piece of news that is part of what's got Twitter all cranky.
We've all been talking all week about.
Right. Is annual passes have returned starting September 8th to Walt Disney World. Yep. And there are 4 different choices, particularly if you live in Florida.
Yes.
If you're like us and live outside of Florida, not so many choices.
Yeah, we get one. Florida residents get 3, which...
No, they get 4.
They get 4, but they have 3 extras on top of what we have.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. So I mentioned it really briefly in the newsreel on Instagram. You can see the entire breakdown on Disney Parks blog. That is going to be your best source of the current listing of numbers of what is available with it. Is going to be that graphic, that listing on Disney Parks blog. I will do my best to share it again in stories this weekend and this next week as it goes live. I think the one big key thing to remember with this is that if you are currently an annual pass holder, your renewal date is after September 8th. Mm-hmm. Your current pass still works. You do not have to purchase a new one on September 8th. Yours will renew. You will be choosing a new one come your renewal time. So don't panic if you already are an annual pass holder. You are not going to have to shell out a bunch of money come September 8th if your renewal date is in 4 months.
Right. And one of the other things I've heard people talking about, I've watched all kinds of vlogs on this. Mm-hmm. Actually, PC Dev, he actually had a really good breakdown of like comparing everything. But one of the things he was saying was, if you're within a couple weeks of that September 8th, mm-hmm. call and they will renew it before that September 8th at the price of the old one. Oh, so you can get the old one with the full benefits of the old one. Instead of just,
So if you need to renew your annual pass right now, because we're only a week out, if you need to renew that right now, you need to try to call them here in the next couple of days and get that situated.
Yeah.
If you are really close to your renewal date, like this month.
If your renewal is in September, I'd give them a call and see what you can do, because there are some benefits that come with that one that don't come with the new one.
Right. So let's talk about what your 4 options are, right? Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that comes with all of them, okay? All of them come with any single day with a park hopper, right? Like you're a single day reservation, you have park hopper, accessibility.
You park hopper.
You get free parking at the parks.
Yes.
With all of them. You get 20% off your dining, merch.
And more. Don't know what more is.
Yeah, they said they're going to release some information, like they're going to release some perks over the 50th. They're going to release more perks, like over, the next...
I'm going to guess what part of that more is you'll see, like, hotel discounts that come out, different resort stays. There's going to be other stuff for annual pass holders that's going to come.
But all of them include that... single day reservation, like park entrance, park hopper, 20% off, free parking at the parks.
Yep.
You do still have to pay for hotel parking.
Yes. Hotel. Yep.
You confirmed that.
I confirmed that 2 different times with a live chat with Plan Disney. But yes, you get free theme park parking. But if you decide to stay at a resort, you still have to pay the resort parking, which doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. Like, if I'm going to stay at a resort and I shelled out for annual pass, like, go ahead and let me park for free because I just.
Yeah, or maybe you get a certain number of days of hotel parking for free or something,
Or
you know, like.
If you're going to make me pay for hotel parking, like, don't make me shell out if I'm staying at a deluxe, don't make me shell out the $25 a day or whatever.
Right, make it 15 or something.
Yeah.
Like, give me my 20% off at least or something.
If I'm driving down there at that point.
Okay, so all of them include all of these things.
Right.
Right? Okay, so 4 different names, and this is where I'm telling you, get on Disney Parks blog, look at the titles and be able to, like, I'm a visual and tactile learner.
Yeah.
So, like,
absolutely.
being able to see it and not just hear it, like, if this is hard to hear all of this breakdown and just listen to it, that's where you need to go for it, okay? So you have the Pixie Dust Pass.
Let's start with that one, okay? And see what that one's got. Your Pixie Dust Pass gives you get 3 days of park reservations, okay? And it is your basic, bottom-of-the-line annual pass. You have to be a Florida resident, okay? You can't even be a DVC holder and get this one, okay? You have to be a Florida resident. It's $3.99 plus tax.
Per person.
Per person. It's, if you want to do payment, you have a $205 down payment, and then it's $19 a month. With this one is a whole lot of blocked out dates.
Including most weekends.
Yeah, I'd say
majority.
like 95% of weekends, peak times, so spring break, holidays, you're not going if you're on this one.
Right.
There's even quite a few Mondays that are blocked out.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of holiday Mondays though, so.
Yeah, so that's blocked out then. You got a lot of Tuesday to Thursdays in there you can go during the slower times. And some in the peak times, like summer. But there's also, like, pretty much the whole month of December's blocked out. A good chunk of November's blocked out. Pretty much all of March and April are blocked out. So
that is definitely, it's the most economical. It's the lowest price, lowest tier that you can do. You do still, again, you get all of those things, right? It's Park Hopper, it's free parking at the parks, it's 20% off your merch and dining. You still have benefits to that. So if you go regularly, and like you don't, maybe you are a DVC member and you're going to go 2-3 times during the year, but most of your trips are during the week because you prefer to be there during the week. This might be a great option for you.
If you're a Florida resident.
You
have to be a Florida resident. I think that's the person who doesn't like going on the weekends and doesn't like going in the crowds. So then that might be a good option.
Option number 2. This is the next step up.
Yep. This is the Pirate Pass.
This is the Pirate Pass. And I'm going to pause and say there's one aspect to all of these that we're going to talk about at the end, and that has to do with your reservation. So don't worry about that yet if you're like, wait, I know about that. Pirate Pass is $6.99 plus tax per person. Okay. $205 down payment, $45 a month. If you are a Florida resident, you can do a monthly payment plan on that. Again, this is only available to your Florida residents. This is not available to anybody outside of Florida. And they are picky about that too.
Yes.
Like we have some friends down there and I was like, hey, can I have some mail sent to your house? And she's like, yeah, no, they want your driver's license. And I was like, ouch. This is definitely, pricier. So $700 a person basically plus tax versus $400 a person on the Pixie Dust one. Okay.
Right.
Pirate is $700, $6.99 plus tax, $700. You still get all of those things. You still have a lot of blackout dates.
Right, you do. You do have some more weekends in there. You got a few extra days in like November, December, those peak times. But you still have a lot of really days you can't go.
Yeah. Middle of the road for your Florida residents only passes.
Right. And the next one, finally, if you're DVC, you can get this one.
Right.
Also Florida residents. So Florida residents or DVC. And this is called the Sorcerer Pass. And this one starts out at $8.99 plus tax. Or, again, $205 down payment. $63 a month. This one, it really kind of starts to open up a lot. A lot of those weekends have opened up you're really, the times I saw that was really kind of blocked out with this was Christmas time. So it was a couple weeks in December, like a week around Thanksgiving, and then some in spring break.
Yeah, not nearly as many days over spring break though,
Right.
as what you have with the lower two. So $900 basically.
Yeah.
Like I like nice round numbers. $900
Right.
versus $700 or $400. And it is nice. I'm glad that there is an option for Disney Vacation Club members that is not just the non-Florida resident
Right.
like option. So that is the last one. The
Right.
highest priced one is open to everybody.
Everybody.
Anybody can. You can be a Florida resident. You
Yep.
can not be a Florida resident. You can be a DVC
Yep.
member, not a DVC member.
Yep. If you are a non-DVC member and you live out of state, this is your only option.
Yeah.
And it starts off at $1,300.
Yeah. It's $12.99 plus tax. $99 a month if you're a Florida resident. Again, you
Yep.
can only do the payment plans with any of these if you are a Florida resident.
Correct.
$99 a month, $205 down payment. You still get all of those same perks as the other ones,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So again, this is the only option for us.
Right.
So for just the two of us, before tax, before any of the other add-ons that you can add
Right.
to it, before anything else, you're talking $2,600.
Yep. Straight out the get-go.
Like just out the gate. And I have to say, we had a like, do we conversation about
Right.
it because we've never done it before. It's never been something that's actually been worth it. But with trying to grow this thing, you know, I mean, but like I'm sitting here going, $2,600. That was majority of what our vacation we were looking at taking next down there was going to cost us.
Right.
Like outside of flights, that's
Mhm.
what like we could go to Disney World for 4 days as a family of 4 for $2,600.
Right. Yeah, especially with our military tickets. Yeah, which are basically like half off, but you can only use those once a year.
Right. Okay. So the big thing with these and the other big difference besides price and
Yeah.
besides whether or not you're a Florida resident is the number of park reservations you can hold in your account.
Right. We already kind of mentioned with Pixie Dust, so the basic one was 3. Okay. Next step up was the Pirate Pass. That's 4. And then Sorcerer Pass, which this is the DVC, and Florida Resident. This is the first one that's DVC. That's 5. And then it's 5 again with the Incredipass.
Right. Now,
Okay.
there's a bump up for that.
There is. There is a kind of a loophole with this. If you are staying on Disney property, you can get more reservations for the length of your stay.
Right.
So if you already have, say, if it was us when we had Incredipass, we already had 5 days picked out. Okay? And then we decided, hey, we're going to go do a trip. That's going to be 5 days. Well, we can have 5 more extra days, so a total
Right.
of 10.
Right.
And it is for the full length of your stay. You can get reservations.
Right. So basically, as long as you're booking on property stays, then you're going to be able to add those days in addition to your number of days that your annual pass allows you to hold. There
Right.
is a new integrated system that's coming out that's going to be updated for
Right.
these new annual passes. And if you have the current annual passes, you will be grandfathered into
Right.
that as well.
Yep. One thing this does tell us, reservations are here to stay.
Yeah, I don't know that they're getting away from them anytime soon. I do think they will get more relaxed as far as like being able to get them
Right.
Not having to book them out quite so far
Right.
as what we are now, just because they're going to increase capacity and increase
Right.
capacity. Like I think we're going to get to a place where it's a lot easier to get the same way that you used to be able to walk up to the gate and buy a ticket, right?
Right.
So that same idea of like, we're going to get back to really being able to do that more and more and more and having those same day reservations. But we used to basically do this.
Right.
You know, I used to do that. It used to essentially make reservations for us of like, this is the park we're going to on this day.
Right.
The nice thing is like we could change.
Right.
The only thing that usually held us was a dining reservation somewhere.
Right. Or a
like-
fast pass.
Or a fast pass or something, and we'd have to try to move those around or give those up, right? Like you're like, hey, like it's gonna pour today. We don't want to go to Animal Kingdom because all the things that we want to do
are going
to be closed. Like, let's switch it up and let's go to Hollywood Studios instead. Like, you can't do that as easily right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, reservations, I think, are here to stay. Not only does it allow for Disney to plan for things like food and staffing, it also just allows them to manage crowd control.
Right. And I think that feeds back into Disney Genie.
Yes.
And being able to control times and figure out the best itineraries for a whole bunch of people to try to give all kinds of people the best days so they're not constantly waiting in lines.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's not included in the new annual passes that was in the old ones used to be Photo Pass was included in them.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you got the Platinum Pass, which was the top one, or Platinum Plus, that also included your water parks and sports.
Right.
Those aren't included anymore.
And here's the only thing that I'll say about that is, and it is per person, right? I mean, so this cost is per person. So like for the 4 of us, instead of being $99 a person for these perks, it would be maybe $99 a person. So it's not like your household. It's $99. It's per person.
Right.
Or per, like, basically per Magic Band, right? Think of it that way. Like, so it'd be $400 for us, to add PhotoPass to all of our Magic Bands. $99 a piece for PhotoPass, $99 a piece if you want to add water parks and sports. Now, if you are not somebody who ever goes to the water park, or it's like a one-off thing, like maybe once a year you go to one.
Yep.
Might not be worth it.
Yep.
Right?
And some annual pass holders go often enough to where they don't do PhotoPass.
Right. They don't, and it's not something that they use. Like, it's not, it may not be something utilized. Now, I will say, we pay for typically the military rate for Memory Maker.
Yeah.
Which is your access to PhotoPass and being able to get all of your photos, is $99.
Right.
Or has been $99 in the past. So we have paid $99 for a 4 or 5 day trip to have all of those photos, where you get to pay $99 and have all of your photos from the entire year.
Right.
That's a good savings if you're going often.
Right. And if you're in the same group all the time, really only one of you needs it.
Yeah. Or maybe just the adults.
Right. Like, it wouldn't make sense for us to get it for Brooklyn and Jackson right now. Like, if we were all going, if we all had passes right now, I don't know that I'd necessarily get it for them. But, I don't know. We're not doing that right now. So
we're not having that conversation right now. There's a whole lot to talk about there.
You're right. So I kind of broke it down to figure out how often you'd have to go to really make this kind of worth it.
Yes.
Okay? How I did this was I looked up to see what the average price was for a single day ticket with Park Hopper.
Yeah.
Okay? And it varied. And basically, the average is roughly about $200.
Okay.
Okay? And then I took our price. So, like, Pixie Dust was $399, $400. So add the $200. That's $600 you'd be paying for your annual pass. Okay? To make it worth it, you're going to have to go 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay? If you live in Florida and you like to go, especially during the week, may not be a bad idea. Rather than just paying single day tickets every time.
Right.
Okay, so then Pirate Pass, same thing, add that $200 to the $699, so $900. You really got to go 5 days to make it worth it. Sorcerer Pass, 6 days to make it worth it.
Wait, time out. Where are you adding $200 to it?
I'm adding $200 to...
Oh, because you're adding both PhotoPass
and water parks. Yeah, I'm basically maxing it out. Okay, I'm maxing it out. In order to make it worth it, I'm gonna max it out. How much is it going to cost at its most?
Okay.
Okay, and then Pirate Pass, you got to go 5 days to make it worth it. So it would be $1,100 for the Sorcerer Pass at that point, and that's 6 days. And then for the Credit Pass, the big one, that's roughly 8 days. And I did include tax, like.
Yeah, I mean, that's 8 days is essentially I like to break it down this way, right?
Yeah.
You can do, it's hard. It's a long trip. You can do all 4 parks, 4 days, right? Like a day at each park. Like, let's just think of it like a day at each park. right? So 4-day trips, a day at each park.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to do that twice.
Right.
To make it worth it that you have met
right.
the price of your Incredipass.
Right.
So you really need to go more than that.
Right.
To make it worth it. Now, here's the tricky part of this, right? So when we go, if I book on the Disney website, right? I book through Disney Travel. I'm just booking a whole vacation. I'm staying on property. I'm doing all the things, right? That price per day for tickets, for 4 days worth of tickets or 8 days worth of tickets, drops.
Mm-hmm. It
right?
does.
So it's not necessarily $200 for every single day.
Right.
That's a single day ticket, which is the highest you will ever pay per day.
Right.
For a ticket.
Right.
It kind of goes down from there. I mean,
does.
if you look at this Incredipass, is like if you are a Florida resident and you have access to be able to go like every other day.
Yeah.
Get the Incredipass.
Right.
Like, if you can afford to do that and you can afford to be there every other day or even 1 or 2 days out of every week.
Yeah.
It's worth it to go ahead and get that because you're going to get the most days possible.
Right. There's no
blackout days.
Everything's wide open with that one. Especially if you, like, the main time you can go is weekends.
Yeah.
Like, you really only get
really
2 options
only,
then.
Yeah.
You can do Sorcerer Pass, but you're still going to have some of them they're blocked out.
Yeah.
You're going to miss some of the bigger events, I guess.
I know we have friends that are Florida residents that have done, they have done annual passes in the past, don't currently have an annual pass, but are looking at getting new ones. And they are, like, that's the one that they're looking at, partly because they don't have plans to go before the first of the year.
Right.
So it doesn't really benefit them right now to do something outside of that because that's not a time of year when they typically go anyway. So Sorcerer's Pass works great for them, for their family. You're really going to have to look at each of these of like, when are the blackout dates?
Right.
Which you can look up.
Oh, yeah. Nope. They're all over the place now.
They are available. So you can see those blackout dates, look at those and be like, if this is going to knock out days that we would really plan to go, it's probably not worth it to have one that has blackout dates.
Right.
But if you have the funds to be able to do this and it not be, a huge strain to your budget and to go up a level and have less blackout dates, to go up to the Incredipass. Now, I would say it's probably worth it. Like,
yeah, I think so. Especially if you're down there, you live close. I think it's definitely worth it. Or if it's part of your business, like it may be worth it. The other thing you have to add in is flights, food.
The good thing about flights, though, is that if you go down there regularly, you're just going to keep racking up points.
Yeah.
You're just going to rack up points, rack up miles. Like, you're going to kind of, you get to a point where pretty quickly where those just become more or less free. Which is helpful, but you would still be paying for a hotel if you don't live there. But, again, it's the weighing of like, is that beneficial to your business, versus or your, what you do. Now, thoughts on, like, one of the biggest things is this is a big price increase.
It is.
Of the upper levels, especially.
Yeah, it is. They really didn't get a big price increase last year. This is the biggest one in a while.
This is the biggest jump since what, 2018, 2019?
2018, yeah. And then it just went up a little bit in 2019, and this is a big jump.
This feels like a leap, which, I mean, it is, but it isn't.
I think I saw, like, the last time you could get Platinum Plus was, like, which was the top of the line one with the water parks and Photo Pass and everything. It was like $100 cheaper than what.
Yeah.
But then they dropped Platinum Plus during 2020, so you couldn't even get that one anymore.
Right.
So then it dropped down to like $989 is what I think I saw. So yeah, like that's fairly significant.
Yeah.
Like $300.
Yeah, that's a big jump. Well, and if you count in, so Platinum Plus had water parks, had photo pass, had all those things in there. So add another $200. I mean, you're talking, that's a $500 jump per person.
Yeah.
So I mean, for a family of 4, that's another $2,000. That's, you know, that's a big jump. There has been a lot of, you know, there's a lot of people who are like, yes, annual passes are back. We finally have the information. Yes, it's a price increase, but pretty much everything across the board is a price increase right now. I mean, that is the way our economy is right now. Some people are really excited about it, and some people are like, okay, I really do not like the way that this is going.
Right. We should have kind of seen what these prices were going to be like, because they're pretty comparable to Magic Key out in Disneyland.
Yeah, they are.
The top Magic Key one is $13.99.
Yeah.
Granted, with that one, you do get Photo Pass.
Yeah, I was really, really surprised that they did not just include that, at least in those top 2.
Right. My feeling, they're going to tweak with it, especially over the next year or so. If something is going to get included, it's going to be that before it's water parks.
Oh, yeah. It'll be that before it's water parks for sure, because that's the easiest one for them to be like, ding, here you go.
Right. And I think that's the one that will be, that most people are going to be complaining about. Because not everyone likes to go to a water park.
No.
More people like to get pictures.
Yeah.
Even if it's just random going down Main Street. Oh, look at the pretty sunset. I really want this picture in a photo pass. So I think if any of them are going to come back, that's going to be it. Like I said, it's pretty comparable to Magic Key. Like pretty much across the board, it's pretty comparable, just different names. One good thing is Florida has less taxes, so it's only 6% compared to like 10.5. So hey, there's something.
I mean, I'm grateful that they brought it out before the 50th.
Right.
I kind of anticipated that, but at the same time, there were a lot of people who were like, okay.
Yeah, no, they've been talking about it for a while. Yeah, it's good to see it's out. People have been talking about it, arguing. We kind of keep going back and forth, like talking about it, and whether it's we like it, we don't like it. I'd love to live down there and have it. Like if I could go all the time, I think, and we could afford it for the whole family, like the Incredipass would be awesome.
Yeah.
Especially if you're on a payment plan. Like, I mean, it'd still be $400 a month. It's a car payment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's put that into perspective. That's a car payment, or like, in our case, a summer utility bill.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, you know, you gotta love the AC bill, but the whole thing of like it's still a lot.
It is a lot.
You know, it's a lot, and it's here. My recommendation comes from the place of do not blow your budget on this.
Yeah.
Right. If you have just already planned and you're already just looking at like, hey, I want to try to plan a vacation, maybe 2 down there over the next year, or maybe you live, you know, in Florida, but it's not easy for you to get to Disney World. Like, do not blow your budget on this, if this is like, do not feel like this is something you have to do in order to be able to go. Right.
Don't be Disney rich.
Yeah.
Like, still make your house payment, make your car payment. Like, those are the things that are really, truly important.
Yeah. Like, do not give that up. But like, if that is not a thing, I do think it's worth it right now. And I do, mainly because I think there are going to be lots more aspects of this that are going to increase, improve, get better. And I think that as long as you keep like going with it, like that you're going to get the value out of it. Right.
Like, I think this was really a blast of, hey, let's get the big information out so people know what the prices are and what's included in it for now. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be tweaked as we go.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of things that are like that. I mean, you've got Disney Genie coming. You've got all the things happening with the 50th. There's just going to be so much that tweaks.
Disney is kind of revamping like in front of our eyes. We don't always like it. Twitter really doesn't like it. Yeah. It's grouchy right now.
Just keep
they don't. He'd be like, chill, people, because there's been some angry people. But we don't always like change with the things that bring us joy. But they got to, or they become stale.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is that our world has changed over the last 2 years. So I mean, we really don't get a lot of choice in that as far as like the world and our economy's changed, and our The way we do business has changed. The way we think about how we spend money on things has changed, and where we go and who we're going to be around has drastically changed. So
right. I think with that, we've shared our opinions, what our thoughts about it. If you have any questions about it, or you have any opinions you want to share with it, please feel free to hit us up on Twitter, Instagram. Salute to the ears. We're also putting out information. Erica's putting out information.
I'm trying.
Yeah, you're doing good.
I literally have 4 jobs. So.
Right. And she probably gets tired of me sending her information going, hey, did you see this?
I'm like, yes, I did. I'm working. I'll get into it later.
Yeah. But she's doing a good job of trying to get that stuff out on Rails. And please do us a favor. Tell everyone about us. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Share information about this podcast. Help us grow this thing. And with that, please go out and find your joy.
Have a magical week.